What's up, everybody? Charlie here with Hot Tips, and this is another website template review slash first look, whatever you will call it. This is Gameworld. This is a Shopify theme by EM Themes, or M Themes. I'm not entirely sure how they pronounce their own name, but by M Themes. This is a Shopify theme. So I know we've been talking a lot about WordPress themes before. This is Shopify. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this theme is, what the core purpose of it is, and how they've sort of arranged some of the elements within this template to make it most effective for selling games, I guess is really the primary focus of this. So like I said, this is a Shopify theme, which means it is e-commerce driven. So most of the elements you're going to see here are for the purposes of selling products. So you can see that we have a menu up here. It's a pretty simple menu, just little drop-down menus here. If it has a mega menu function, I'm not experiencing it. So there's, that's what I'm getting out of it. But you'll notice that there's also these four parts right down here, right below the menu. And this is a great place for you to sort of highlight the most popular parts of your website and sort of highlight the parts that people would most likely like to visit. Maybe you have special promotional deals. Maybe you have pre-owned, which is obviously going to be a discounted games. We have trade-in offers, monthly deals. So you can really highlight some things here too. Then we have the slider. And the one thing I want to say about the slider is that it is very well organized and very well presented. And what I mean by really well organized and presented is they have particularly set up this, and I recommend you do the same if you decide to get this theme. They've positioned elements so that they don't sort of mix with each other. They don't interfere with one another. For example, we have the image of the game over here at the far left. Then you have the description of the titles and stuff right here, which doesn't really interfere with the picture, which they've placed in the background. But the background picture is positioned so that the primary focus is not behind the elements. So it ends up looking like a really organized slider and a very effective advertising method up here. So as we scroll down the page here, you're going to see that we have a tabbed organization here for products. And we can sort of go through the different platforms of games. You could use this as, if you have different sections of your store and you sell different types of games, this would be a great way to do it. There's also an all systems thing, so any games and all games, pretty good. The one thing I don't necessarily like about this particular part here, though, is that there's no navigation forward and back. So you're not going to get, there's no built-in anyway, at least they're not showing it, way to really kind of scroll through these games. So you're sort of limited to the 6 that they decide to show you here for each platform, which is kind of a downside. I would have liked to see more games on the homepage, or at least the ability to see and scroll through more games on the homepage. Then down here below, we have platforms. Obviously, you're able to get, they're insinuating, of course, that there is an Xbox, PlayStation, and Wii. You can do this however you'd like. It's your theme. It's your, it's your site. Go nuts. I went ahead and clicked too soon. As we go down here, you'll notice also that as I scroll through this theme, it scrolls really quickly, and I don't like that. I like smooth scrolling just as much as the next guy does, but if it's going to go too fast, like I'm barely scrolling and this page is just going. So, I mean, that part is a little bit, I don't really like that part either. But we have more games on, display down here. Again, I can't scroll through them. I can't actually choose to see more. I have to basically choose one of the 4 for each platform that it shows me, which is kind of a bummer. And then we have a nice 3-column footer, which I actually really like this part. And this column footer here is showcasing a blog. So this Shopify theme has a nice blog layout sort of integrated into its homepage as well. And if I click go to blog, we can see that it has a traditional blog format going down the page. And by default, only 3 articles are showing, or well, looks like 4. You can have one that's not a picture. But if you're going to do a blog, honestly, put a picture in there, because sometimes it's hard to see your articles if you don't. I mean, I didn't even see this when I first looked at it. And it's paginated, so you can always go to the next page and stuff as well. Articles look pretty clean too. You can have the featured image show over here, and you can also have a large image here. And if I go back a couple of times here, you'll also see that it supports video too. If I go all the way to here, I think this one has video. Yeah, this one has video. So you can see that we have video here too. And this is just an image. They've gone ahead and put the play symbol. You can kind of see it as if I move it. They've gone ahead and put the play button sort of in the thumbnail itself. So that thumbnail that you see at the bottom of this page where it has a play button, this is part of the picture. It's not automatically placed over here when there's a video in the post, which is, again, a little unfortunate. I like to see things sort of automatically do for the sake of being an end user on these things. I sort of like to see that kind of stuff put in there kind of dynamically and automatically. But regardless, if you're making your own content and you're dedicated and you're really committed to your content, you're going to want to put your own custom thumbnails together as well. And when you're doing that, you can just put a play button over top of it. Not a huge deal. But it does have a video in there. Videos, of course, are embeddable from YouTube, Vimeo, wherever. No built-in video hosting platform at all. But the blog does have navigation buttons here, previous and next. So you can go between blog posts pretty easily from within them. And that's pretty good. Obviously, there's integrated commenting. And the one thing I like about comments on Shopify and comments here is that there is no website field for your comments. You can do name and email address and then comment. There's no website field. And I love that because it really deters a lot of spam. I mean, granted, people can still put spam in the comments, body, but they can still put links there, but their name can't be a link, and that's what a lot of spam is going to end up being. Usually, spam commenters, at least lately on my sites anyway, they've been trying to just say something really nice about my site, something really nice about the page they're looking at, like it's a normal comment, and then their name is linked to their website, and that's the spam. That's where they're trying to get you a link back to their own website. So this sort of encourages legitimate comments and sort of allows you to more easily manage spam on your site by not having a website line. I really wish WordPress would just get rid of that by default, but they don't. So that's that. Also, social media sharing is integrated into it as well. As you can see, they're really small. I wish the buttons were larger, but I'm sure you can put your own custom buttons in here. It's not that hard to do that. So let's take a look at some of the typography things here. And typography is admittedly quite limited, but it's still okay. I mean, this is a Shopify theme. It has a specific purpose. Heading levels, you can see that they kind of go down the line here. Multiple columns. They're trying to showcase columns here, but you'll notice that columns actually aren't appearing. So like they're showcasing columns, but I mean, these are rows, not columns. So it's not actually working. Paragraph, obviously you can do a paragraph. If you can't do a paragraph in a theme, you shouldn't be a designer. I mean, I can do a paragraph with a static HTML, hi HTML, this is me, and end tag. I mean, that's not hard. Ordered lists, this is a pretty cool feature, but again, the text is quite small. I wish it was a little larger. And unordered list, again, all the text is quite small. You have tables, which tables look pretty good. They go into 5-column layout here, so at least we know the columns for the pricing tables work. But again, the text, pretty small. Now, I've been overlooking this feature, and this is basically a way for you to showcase the different types of brands that you support in your store. So you can put like the PlayStation logo here, the Xbox or Microsoft logo here. You could put Nintendo's logo. You could put EA Games. You could put Naughty Dog. Whatever you want to put as a brand, and sort of have them scroll through automatically. So that appears on like every single page. So let's take a look at individual products. Now, individual products, I like this certain feature. There's a feature on Shopify and a feature on this particular theme that I really do appreciate for products. I can click this and go right to the product page. That's not a problem. And if I scroll my mouse over top of it, it does have a zooming feature. Of course, this isn't really going to zoom that much because this is the full size of the image. But if you had a larger image, like a screenshot of the game, if you wanted to showcase screenshots, this feature would be really good because you could showcase screenshots in a higher quality and really get people to see what you're looking at. And this is great too. We have multiple different variations of categories. So if I have like a regular version of the game and then there's a limited edition version of the game, they can choose which edition they want and the price will dynamically change. And then they add it to the cart with their quantity and etc. Pretty standard stuff there as far as products go. We can also have some featured products over here to help upsell some more. But the part that and I want to also express obviously related products down here. But the part that I really like about this is that there is a quick shop button over top of each of these logos. And this happens on every thumbnail, or every video game thumbnail anyway, throughout this theme, aside from these little tiny ones. The tiny ones don't get it, but this size right here does get it. And if you click quick shop, instead of the picture, you end up getting a pop-up. And you're able to see the video game details right here in the pop-up. And that is pretty cool. And you can switch through the different pictures right here as well, which is pretty nice. But you can actually shop without having to necessarily go to every single product. So that's nice. And obviously there is a search bar up here, searches the entire store. You can put your customer support logos and stuff like this. And then there's this chat with us button. Now this chat with us button, it doesn't work for the demo. So if you're gonna go ahead and visit the demo, which by the way, link in the description if you want to check out this theme for yourself and click around and sort of play around with the functions by yourself. You can also use the annotation in the top left corner to check it out as well. This chat with us button is integrated. If I actually look into the button itself, it's integrated with Yahoo Messenger. So you can place your own Yahoo Messenger account into the system, and if someone else has Yahoo Messenger installed on their computer and they click this button, chat with us, it will open Yahoo Messenger up and start a conversation with whoever you are on Yahoo Messenger. So you don't necessarily have to install a live chat plugin on your site, and you don't necessarily have to be sitting there by a computer waiting for that chat. You could have Yahoo Messenger on your phone or whatever, and then when someone clicks this button that has Yahoo Messenger, they can just start chatting with you about products. You can get questions from wherever you are in the world as long as you have internet. So that's pretty cool. I like that integration too. I wish they were a little more, upfront about which platform this supports, so that if I don't have Yahoo Messenger, I wouldn't just sort of click this button like I'm doing right now and go, why doesn't it work? I don't understand, because I don't have Yahoo Messenger installed on my computer. That being said, nothing is stopping you from labeling this with Yahoo Messenger. So if you're going to use this, be sure to label it. Obviously, we have card information up at the top left, login and registration buttons, and the login button pops right out, which is really nice. You don't have to go to a different page to log in. The register button, obviously, the register button, unfortunately, does make you navigate to a different page. But I mean, I'm not going to nitpick that. You're talking about a registration, and if you want to, pick certain information for that user to give you, then you're going to add fields, and that's going to, take up more space. So. Register button, I can understand that going there. But the login button is pretty nice. Email address and password to log in. And the currency, out of the box, you can have support for the euro, as well as the US dollar and the British pound. So that's up here too. You can change those currencies, obviously. You can put your own currency links up here as well, but you'll have to integrate them yourself. Now, the final thing I want to point out here is that the theme is a little dark. So if you are managing a video game store or whatever, and you wanted to use this as your template, or maybe you're just a seller on eBay and you would like to kind of expand your ability to sell by having your own marketplace online with your own domain name. So maybe that's what you're looking to do. This theme is a little dark. Maybe you don't like it that dark. Maybe this isn't something that you're like, man, this is not quite what I'm looking for because I wish it was brighter. I'm not really a dark, grungy kind of seller. Well, there is a light skin to this as well, and you can click this light skin button, and now we have a completely different sort of mood to this because of the background changing. So that's a completely different feel to the theme. So that opens it up for more possibilities for your brand. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I was a little bit sort of concerned about a few things here. I went ahead and touched on a lot of the things that I wish was different about the theme. Text is a little small, like I said, and also there. But they did this really well here. This slider here, and I recommend people who are watching this video sort of take note at how they did the slider so that you can make your sliders look as good as this one does. Because quite honestly, having an image that you can have right here and then having text. This whole thing is really good when you have an image that is aligned in a way where it doesn't actually interfere with this product. It doesn't interfere with this information. And you may have noticed right at the end there that this is touch responsive. It's touch enabled, so I can drag it. Like I had it with my finger. Like if I was out looking at this on mobile, I would be able to just drag this with my finger and it works. And speaking of mobile, obviously, no theme today in the modern age would ever be even worth its crap at all if it wasn't responsive. So here you go, responsiveness in the theme. So there you go. That's all I really have to say about this. This is Gameworld by EM Themes. You can check it out with the link in the description or the annotation in the top left corner of your screen. But I am Charlie. This is Hot Tips showing you another theme, and I will see you next time.